this whole thing for a while. Underground doesn't even mean what it used to anymore. Back then, underground meant hidden. No real motion, no real platform, no real reach, but still having these guys that said fuck everything else that's going on and brought their own sound to something that was very special over time. But now you got those same artists, right? Selling out venues, shutting down festivals, finding some way on Billboard 200, building cult fan bases, and creating some of the most passionate crowds we've seen in years. At Rolling Loud, for an example. And it's just my honest opinion. That's not underground. That's the new divide, the new mainstream.
Well, underground is popping right now, bro. You feel me? It's really crazy to really think about, like, probably what it was like 2024, 2023. I think it was 2024 when I just started listening to underground. Like, when I started listening to Baby Stay Down, I started listening to Summers. A little bit of Prada. See what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna lie. Oh, and fucking I can't think of your boy name. Oh, Osama son, yeah. And what's your boy name that he made that song with? White boy. Withdrawals. I don't go through withdrawals. What's that song? Man, y'all know what I'm talking about. But yeah, all them boys, like, the underground world was so far behind at that time. And now come this time, like, I'm not gonna lie. They got shit going on, fool. They got shit going. Some of the underground artists not even looked at as underground artists. They looked at as mainstream niggas now, like, for real. Like, I fuck with what they got going on. I fuck with the whole underground movement. I love that shit. I ain't gonna lie. This shit, something.
Forming in real time. And I seen what Academic said, and I feel like that's the missing point that he had. When he said there's no middle class in rap anymore, I somewhat disagree because the middle class didn't disappear. It just shifted. The attention moved to the new wave. And I'm seeing the mainstream and the industry still look at these artists like placeholders because they don't fully understand what they're looking at yet. But the fans do, because the new gen built itself without that. Without the industry structure, no radio involved. There's a lot of artists that are signing, but we know that label push is not needed for the start at all. But we see time and time again, more artists push to be more independent. And even some of the most popular artists right now are in distro deals. Their fan base do the work for them. Also, no mainstream cosigns required. The SoundCloud era, SoundCloud wave as you put it, 2016 to about 2018, right? They created their own ecosystem. And right now, you're just seeing a branch off from it. But it's a new form. These artists build fan bases through discourse, TikTok edits, underground pages, streamers.
TikToks for show.
Repost accounts, meme culture, YouTube clips and shorts, and these comms that genuinely care. That's why the support looks so different. People can catch on. It's not casual anymore. People don't just listen to these artists anymore. They represent them. They dress like them, talk like them, edit videos around them, travel to go see them, throwing up random ass symbols with their fingers, defend them online like a fucking sports team. That's why we see all this music discourse going around, surrounding the underground, comparison after comparison. I mean, there's a reason for that happening. That's why these shows feel different. And even Rolling Loud just exposed that to everybody. People try to downplay this scene like it was some tiny niche.
Oh yeah, we be a fuck with that boy 1300 Saint too. Don't get it fucked up.
Internet wave, right? But then those same artists been touching the same festival stages.
What is your, thoughts on the current underground and, the new music, things that you're liking, things that you're not liking, and just even advice?
I don't not like nothing. But the new underground, bro, it's like at a level that, bro, these kids superstars. Like, I feel like we doing them a disservice calling it the underground. Like, these kids superstars game. Like, you see Net's been on tour. Like, Net's been performing.
There you go. Netspin. Yes, sir.
And, like, it look like performing in, like, big capacity venues, like, no little kid venues. Like, these kids, they superstars, bro. Like, we need to, because when we was the underground, like, I mean, it was like the gold rush in like 2017 when they started signing people. Like, but at first, nobody was getting paid from that shit. Like, these kids is like millionaires, like, going into it. Like, in a way that probably hinders some of them because it's so early.
And you can see this shit for yourself. People are saying this. The energy look bigger than half of the mainstream acts that people have been forcing for years. But the people that have been paying attention for a while and supporting these new artists, right, weren't shocked at all. This has been happening. The quote-unquote underground, as you put it, has been building one of the strongest systems in music, but support system for the last 3 to 4 years. The difference now is that the rest of the industry is finally seeing it publicly. You can't call these artists underground forever and building this unnecessary ass barrier when they're charting here and there, right? It might not be a global hit or some shit like that, or a song that's on the top 100. That's very rare. But it's definitely a thing where they're qualifying on the Billboard 200 with their albums. They're also touring and selling out small to medium-sized venues. That's way better than 75% of what the mainstream scene is at right now in terms of middle class. Those guys is off the hook now. Academic said it himself. He don't even know where those guys is at. They can't sell. They asking for too much money for Rolling Loud, knowing that they're not at that place no more. Just doesn't make sense. The new rising up-and-coming rappers filled in those places for the younger audience and bring newer eyes. Guys who run these big festivals, right?
Fast them boys, take that cheese. All these, I need 5 M's, man. Man, they got somebody that'll come to this show for $100K. Let's not act like 100,000 is not a lot of money, bro. People be sleeping on bread, bro. 100,000 is a lot of money. Like if you see 100,000 and even all hundreds, that's a lot of bread, gang. No doubt.
Can see why they will book a newer artist, fresh, who got a small, medium-sized spark going on for himself, where you can definitely see his support base and how strong it is, and knowing for a fact that he's going to bring in some pull. Of course, I'm going to cut off half of what I was finna spend on this artist that's not as high anymore, who has this crazy-ass ego, and his pride is too strong to just dumb down the price and perform and give a decent show, but I can bring a newer artist in, where their support base is way more visible than yours, though. And when he get on that list, the fan base going to eat that up. And you watched all his other shows, his other tours, the raw clips out there on TikTok, different platforms and shit like that, and seeing the kind of wave and energy that he brings to the table when it's time to present. And you got people out there doing the 10K to 20K range. And then you got the bigger artists like Ken, Yeet, Lone, that's touching that mainstream layer. Lone was nearly at 40K. Look at what Ken is doing right now. 50 and 60Ks, qualifying for Billboard, selling out merch, headlining growing festivals. But just look at this branch off that we're seeing. The top 10 on every section are quote unquote underground artists, as y'all put it. And what they did recently was a moment for the culture. At some point, the label just stopped making sense. And honestly, I think we're reaching that point where we need a new term. Another thing that people overlook is influence. A lot of these sounds, aesthetics, visuals, editing styles, production trends, vocal styles, fashion movements, and internet slang.
I'm thinking about it now. The underground word definitely is a diss. What word do I want to say? Discredit, miscredit, something like that. But yeah, because when I hear underground, I don't think of a like real millionaire. Like when I hear of underground, I think of a rapper that's touching like 40, 50K. You feel me? Like make music, cult fan base. That's what I think about when I hear underground. But the real motherfuckers that in the underground, yo, these dudes real millionaires. Like he said, these dudes is real millionaires. Like these dudes really got this shit going on, and some of them YNs, like for real. No doubt.
The mainstream, as you put it, is reacting to the underground right now, not the other way around. And I know y'all finna say, well, they're just copy and paste from the mainstream guys, or the people that popped off in the SoundCloud wave. What do you think those SoundCloud rappers are doing now? Or the rappers that popped off from 2016? What do you think they're looking at? I just spoke to my homeboy about this. When guys talk about Uzi or Cardi or Thug, right? Guys gotta realize they've been watching this scene very closely. They ain't chasing old mainstream formulas. They see where the wave going. You got Thug reforming YSL with fresh energy, signing artists like Teezus to Diamond, who bring yin and yang. Diamond give you that smooth, groovy feel, while Teezus come in with that raw, aggressive energy. And it doesn't matter if it's on paper or not, because this is the same guy that had his eye on Nine Vicious in his earliest days. Even if he not signed on paper anymore, the main thing that Nine talk about is YSL. He's slime. He hate Thug here and there, but he love him. And just looking back at the vision that Thug had for Nine was crazy. And yes, I get it. Ken did some work behind this. Lil Gotti did some work behind this. But don't forget, Thug still considered Nine to be signed to YSL. No matter what way you put it, his first year of having a spark, he's already at Rolling Loud, had one of the best sets, and his crowd was out of control. Thug keep those guys around. He got Oway, he know where the spark is coming from. Same with Cardi and YBL. We ain't even gotta bring up much. Let's just talk about attacking this tour. Half the people on the stage was so-called underground, but people don't realize, yo, that's intentional. Every other week on that damn tour, we seen a new artist popping on stage, and those same artists are booking at Rolling Loud, getting major deals for themselves, signing distros, and making their own heavy spark. I mean, shit, look at Uzi. Every other week or every other month, he's showing love to somebody in the scene. He done got his own label now too. He know what's up. They just tapping in with the same energy that built them. Those same guys I just named don't even look at the middle tier acts at all, because what they got building in the scene right now is already moving the culture forward. The future isn't the old middle class, it's right here. And these new artists don't need mainstream validation. Y'all remember that time where Ack hated Ken Carson? He said, what the fuck is this? This Cardi clone, get him out of here. Now that same guy is headlining Rolling Loud. That same guy that was under a fucking tent at Rolling Loud is a damn headliner last minute because of YoungBoy dropping out. These same artists that people try to downplay, bro, are building entire movements. And of course, I know that Rolling Loud has always been some was still underground, it also started as underground. But the CEO said it himself. It's a new beginning.
Rolling Loud tough, man. They tough for bringing them boys out. I can't count. No better.
Now, whole recent list definitely had majority of the scene. We haven't seen anything like that in a long time. Every year there's about like 3 to 4 artists. Okay, cool. But this year was totally different. The whole flip side happened. That's why I feel like people are so disconnected. They look at these new artists and say, who are these people? What is this sound? Why are they so big? This is just a copy and paste. And they only say that because the culture moved online faster than traditional media. The new generation discovered their stars without blogs, radio, television, and by the time media mainstream figures realized that was happening, these same artists already had thousands of fans waiting outside venues. That's why these moments matter so much. Rolling Loud wasn't just a festival set. It was right in our faces, gang. Proof that these fan bases are real. Proof that the underground isn't temporary anymore. Because a lot of these artists are just getting started. It's dudes out there still calling Yeet, Ken Carson, and Lone still underground. Well, they gotta sell out arenas for them to be mainstream. What middle class rapper is selling out arenas right now? Who's doing that anyway? The people that y'all call underground rappers are doing more than those middle class rappers when they do book an arena or a medium sized venue. Bro, you're not finna tell me that Osama Sun is underground when he just sold more than that first week just based off of streaming. Bro, just go look at their last performances. Look at Rich the Kid.
Y'all sleep, but I ain't never listening now. But that's a bad comparison, fool. Never.
Crowd, and look at where 9 is at. You're not finna tell me that Ned Spin is just deep underground, gang. He just sold more than Jack Harlow first week. It's Jack Harlow. These were huge artists for the middle class tier in that mainstream category. Yes, that was a thing. Osama Sun even sold more than Offset recently.
Osama San has sold more first week than Kodak Black, Ty Dolla $ign, and Offset in 1 month is insane, bro. The new generation's taking over. If you have a cult following, they will show out for you, bro. Okay, they will.
This underground niche, as you put it, has created its own mainstream. Some of these guys are becoming the new faces of a whole different scene. The people that have been early to the scene, the pages, the streamers, the editors, photographers, curators, and the fans, they already seen this coming. Now everybody else is finally catching up. And people seen that, and it became a huge combo surrounding Rolling Loud. But yeah, I'm done, Chan. Let me know how y'all feel about this whole thing, man. Am I just